Welcome to It Takes Two. I'm Blair.
I'm Chris.
And today we'll be talking about Love Island USA Season 7, Episode 32.
We need you to subscribe, like, share, comment, all the above. Blair, I think I got to do a little housekeeping.
Okay.
Just a little bit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because we got a lot of new people. So a lot of people may not know. Me and you is married.
We are.
Right? We are a couple. We are married. We've been together for over 7 years and things of that nature, probably over 8 years, over 9 years. I don't know how long we've been together, right? But we are married, right? Mm-hmm. And we do a YouTube show together. It's called It Takes Two. Right?
The both of us.
And I just want to warn y'all, right? There will never be a day that you can insult me and Blair will agree.
Never.
Right?
Never.
We had to escort someone out the comments.
We had to kick them out the club, y'all.
We had to escort them out the comments because they was like, I watched this show for the missus and, Chris is sassy and all this stuff. And I'm trying to warn y'all. If Blair sees it, she's going to send you to the abyss. There's never going to be a time where she's going to like the comment because she is complimented within the same comment that I'm insulted.
Because you insulting me.
So I'm just trying to help y'all. If I see it, I'm gonna spar back with you.
I don't argue.
Yeah, she just gonna sing it to the abyss. So please, if you have any comments or any compliments to one person and you want to insult the other person within that comment, please just keep it to yourself. Mm-hmm. And guess what? We can respectfully disagree.
Always. We
can always disagree. And guess what? I'm gonna disagree with a lot of people tonight. You know what I'm saying? You ready, Blair?
I'm ready.
Walk us through this episode.
So Amaya and Brian are in the hideaway.
Yeah.
They are making out, using the whipped cream, and getting the party started.
Tonight, I'm going to be easy on Amaya.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be easy than I've been the other nights on Amaya. But my stance is still the same.
All right. So Clark and Taylor are in the speakeasy, and she asks him if he has anything that he wants to do for his wedding. He would want everyone to get cowboy hats with their initials on it.
Okay.
She definitely wants a wedding, a big wedding, no courthouse wedding for her. And she wants to do a sexy lingerie picture book, and they end up kissing.
Was this conversation weird to you?
I don't think it was weird.
Okay.
I always say they're just each other's speed.
Oh,
man. I'm looking for it. Okay. I'm looking for it. I'm glad that they're happy together and they enjoy each other. I don't enjoy watching them. I just don't.
Here's my thing about them. Right?
I don't like their conversations. It's just not interesting.
Okay.
And anyway, go ahead.
Here's my thing about them, right? They are one of our top couples of this season by default. Not because we seen like, oh my goodness, we seen the growth of Taylor and Clark together. It's because it's a bad season of couples. So we got to put Taylor and Clark up there as one of our top couples because outside of Shelley and Ace, they've been together, the longest? Mm-hmm. Dude, you get what I'm saying? So it just seems like they are having conversations randomly, but not really in the progression of the relationship that they are in. Mm-hmm. Do you kind of get what I'm saying? Meaning that they are talking about marriage or talking about what type of wedding they want, but yet for the show's sake, they're not closed off at this point. You get what I'm saying? There's no conversation about the outside yet, but we just jump straight to the wedding. It just seems like y'all just basically do how you have like these icebreaker games where you just pull like a topic out of a fishbowl or something and you just talk about it.
Yeah.
That's what their conversation seems like.
It's perfectly said.
It doesn't seem like it flows. Like it has nothing to do with them, but they are talking about it. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Like it's hard for me. I can see that they like each other.
Okay, yeah.
And I think it's genuine. And so I think that's where we say that they are one of the, strongest couples.
By default.
Because they actually do like each other.
Yeah.
But I agree with you. The conversations is just, I don't feel anything.
Yeah.
I'm not feeling the feels, Yeah. And it might just be me.
No.
Well, you know what? I know it's not just me.
Okay.
Based off the vote.
It's America.
I know it's not just
okay,
me.
Yeah, you're right.
But we move on to Huda and Chris. She's asking why he's so quiet, what's wrong. And he's just telling her that he's mellow right now. He still feels the same about her. He likes her a lot. And she says, oh, I'm going to throw up. And he says, you can throw up in my mouth. And she tells him, don't say that. And he tells her, don't tell me what I can or can't say. And then he gets up and starts stretching, acting like he's tired, even though he just said he wasn't sleepy.
What is your thoughts on this weird conversation number 2?
Yeah, I wish Chris would speak up when Huda is irritating him.
Yeah.
I don't appreciate when people act like it's not an issue, but you can tell their energy is off.
Yeah.
So clearly your energy is off. And I think that's the thing with Huda. And, you know, of course, we're going to compare to Jeremiah. If the girl is asking you what's wrong and what's going on, please do her the service of telling her so that way she can pivot. The thing is, Huda's probably going to get upset and walk away.
Pretty much.
But if she's asking you, tell her what's wrong. I don't get the whole point of pretending like everything's fine, but you're still irritated at the end of the day. You're only making yourself mad. So
remember, Chris said that he likes to be with and like I'm paraphrasing, broken women, basically. You get what I'm saying? Some type of toxic woman. He liked those. He said those are the women that he attracts, right? And I'm like, well, are you the bait for that then? Because you're 6'8", but you look pretty small to me in this scene right here, because I'm 100% with Blair on this. If you've been watching from episode 1 all the way to episode 32, one of my issues that I had with Jeremiah is that he knowingly had issues with Huda, but he suppressed it. He did not do anything but just... Dude, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And my thing is, hey, be a man. You're not 18. You're not 20. Be a man. Speak up. Speak your piece and things of that nature. Be a participant in your relationship.
Exactly.
Dude, you get what I'm saying? Now, Chris, I feel like I've seen this before, right? I understand that we can obviously look at Huda and be like, well, she's the common denominator, so definitely, like, you know, maybe it's her. But also, hey, these guys get with these women because you think Huda is fine and things of that nature. And guess what? I'm not here to call Huda ugly or anything of that nature, right? But you think she's so fine and you think it won't happen to you because you know what? I'm more manly than Jeremiah. But at the end of the day, when you're dating someone like Huda,
Who's draining,
right? All of a sudden, you could kind of see where Jeremiah was coming from to where the light is leaving his eyes. Listen, I have no respect for a man who actually wants to say something, but he chooses not to say it to the person's face, but he says it in the confessional and things like that. Oh, Huda could be bossy, Huda could be all these things, but he's telling us this as if I'm a participant in the relationship that he's in. He needs to talk to Huda.
Yeah.
He needs to man up, you know?
So Amaya and Brian are enjoying the hot tub. Okay. I thought Amaya was quite chatty, but they ended up making out and enjoying their night.
I will not add on to that comment of Amaya being chatty, but I would just thumbs up that comment.
Okay.
And I will take the thumbs up away and thumbs up it again. Okay. Right? That's 2 thumbs up that you get. That she's not only chatty in this conversation in the hot tub, she's chatty all the time. But guess what? It's okay.
Yeah, so we're moving on to bedtime.
Yes.
Huda said Chris was tired after all that parenting. She don't even know. She don't even know. Chris asked her for a kiss, and Huda started looking around to see who was watching. He's telling this to one of the guys. And she didn't kiss him outside the challenge with other people around. And he found that to be odd. Why didn't you bring it up to her?
Yeah, I think it's
Are
odd.
we like building up the nerve or the courage to tell her? Is Huda the big bad wolf?
Yeah.
You know, I'm saying I don't know why people are, or at least the guys that she's with, are so afraid of her. I really don't get it.
Listen here, we gonna talk about it once we get to that scene. Make sure y'all pay attention. But I would definitely say you're 100% right. Like, why are you telling me this, Chris?
Yeah.
I don't need to know this. Like, obviously you have an issue. You had a chance to actually talk to her about it, but instead you wanted to talk about throw up, and then you talk about like, don't tell me what to say. Tell me what to say. Tell me what. It's like what? It's like, what are we doing? You are too old and you are too tall to be acting this small. You get what I'm saying? But we gonna talk about it in Huda with this whole parenting thing. I understand you're a mom and you're the only mom on the cast and things of that nature.
And in the world.
The only parent, apparently, right? But Huda, you are also the same person that you making it seem like, oh, look at Chris. He was all tired from that parenting. You know, that's just a regular day that I go through. But yet, last episode, you was getting triggered by a toy doll. Like, that's not really showing growth in the whole parenting thing to me either. You get what I'm saying? So I think Huda needs to not break her arm patting herself on the back. You get what I'm saying?
So we saw Iris and Pepe having them covers moving, as well as Amaya and Brian.
I see you, Brian.
So it's the next day. All the guys make breakfast. Ace brings Shelley her branch of the day.
Yes.
Which was really cute. Ace appreciates how Shelley went above and beyond to make him feel at home with the s'mores date. And I'm happy that he felt that way. And I'm happy that Shelley was so thoughtful to do that.
Same.
I'm loving the reciprocation and the energy in their relationship at this point.
Do you think this relationship could be real on the outside?
Yeah, I do.
I don't. I think it's as real as it can be on the show, right? I think on the show, somebody perfectly explained this, and I wish I can give the credit to the person that I saw do it. I just don't remember it at the moment. They just said it's like something just not clicking with them. It's like you just don't know what it is. It's like they are doing everything by the book, meaning like they are together, they communicate. He's bringing her breakfast. She is showing her appreciation, her gratitude, and things like that. But it's like there's something about that it factor that's missing, at least for me, that shows me that they can actually be a couple on the outside. I think on the inside, they hit their ceiling. You get what I'm saying? Like, and maybe my problem is, I think I know what it is, right? That's why last episode I wanted to see Shelley and Ace go to the hideaway. I feel like they are the only couple that actually been a couple the longest, the only couple that we truly believe. So I think they should have been rewarded with the hideaway. But, based on how Ace moves, he basically said, like, he has boundaries and things like that. And truth be told, they probably just would have went to sleep in the hideaway. But what I would like to see, at least before the season is over, because the season is about to be over, we haven't seen a date for them, like, outside the villa.
Yeah.
Like a one-on-one date that's outside of the confines of the everyday normality of breakfast, Ace doing something to impress Shelley, bringing a tree for her and things like that. It just seems like I need to see them outside of the confines of the villa. They needed a one-on-one date that I think they are well deserving of it because they are the couple of the season, at least to me.
Yeah. So Amaya's happy with her connection and friendship with Brian.
Okay.
He is too. He says just two misunderstood people understanding each other.
What that mean, Brian?
And he was looking around when he said it. I don't know. Some of this nonverbal language that's going on, it makes me question Brian a little bit as far as what are we really doing with Amaya here? Are we just enjoying Amaya, or are we wanting to be with Amaya? So that's my biggest question.
My thing is, I'm going off of your notes, Blair, and based on what we've seen, you said Amaya said. I just want to see a sentence where Brian starts off with how he feels about the connection more than, Brian feels the same way too.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? That's all I want to see out of that relationship.
So they come out the hideaway. They fill the guys and girls in on what happened. They knocked the boots a couple of times, and he followed the girls' direction with that song that they gave on their way into the hideaway.
Oh, yeah.
So Shelley is talking about how she wants twins. She thinks Ace was stressing himself out when it came to the babies. And Olandria said that y'all was doing too much arguing in front of the kids. And I think that's where their issue lies, is communication.
Who?
Ace and Shelley.
Okay.
I think that they do have moments of good communication, but I think that there are moments where, I'm not going to lie, Shelley can be hard-headed, and she doesn't want to listen, and she doesn't want to see his perspective. And I think of the situations when it came to the Chris challenge situation, when she's so confused about this love triangle, when he's telling her that, I would like you to tell me good job, even if she said it before. It's something that he needed to hear in the moment. Why couldn't she just give it to him? I really don't know.
He acts.
I really don't know. So I think Shelley holds back a little bit. I really do. And I think that she could improve on that. And I think that she is, but I think that's where they miss the mark sometimes. I just think she's a little hard-headed.
Well, you have to understand. I think if I was to go off of what I think Ace is trying to follow a template of, I am a man and I'm going to, court my woman. I'm going to chase my woman. And there are certain men's standards, or basically a template that men's supposed to do. Like Ace come off as the type of guy that says, you know what, Blair, don't touch a door. You get what I'm saying? Don't touch a car door. Don't touch a door. You wait for me to come get that door for you. Shelley seems like the type of, like, I can open the door for myself. And it kind of takes away from like the whole, like, I think they just need to agree how they're going to operate, right?
Yeah.
I don't think either way is right or wrong. You get what I'm saying? But if Ace is under the impression that, hey, we're going to go by how I'm going to lead and things like that, but Shelley didn't agree to it fully, then that's where they kind of butt heads at. I think Shelley is just independent enough, even to the point where, remember, I always go back to the beginning. She says, look, I'm not straight, I'm not gay, I'm Shelley. So basically, that's her own rules. Whatever she feels and things like that, however she defines that, in all totality, she's like, I'm going to operate in this world however I want to. And I think with Ace, it's going to take extra communication because he seems like the type of person that be like, hey, I got it all planned out for us. You know, but the thing about a planner is, hey, it's one thing if one person's a planner and then the other person just follows the plan. But Shelley may be like, I'm a planner too. And that's when y'all got to collaborate.
Yeah, that's true. So they get a text. It's boys' day, and they go to play basketball. Taylor, Chris, and Nick end up winning, and it was a pretty fun scene to watch.
Yeah.
The girls play Would You Rather. They're just trying to entertain themselves.
Pretty much.
The guys chat, and Ace is excited to get back to the villa to see Shelley. Pepe is excited to see Iris. And Nick says the physical and emotional connection is growing with Olandria, and he's just trying to do the small things to take care of her. And Taylor pipes up and says, you know, she does like the small things. That is something that she always did like.
Taylor, don't. Taylor, I think in this instance, I don't think Nick needed any type of
I don't think so
reassurance of how you moved in that relationship.
Olandria isn't feeling guilty anymore. It feels natural with Nick, and she does like cuddling him.
Okay.
Huda feels good with Chris. She thinks that they communicate well. She'll say something and it's no argument. She's a lot calmer with him. She knows that she has high anxiety in relationships, and with him, it's just easy.
Is it fair for Huda to think this way?
It is fair for her to think this way because he's not being honest with her.
Facts.
And it's unfortunate because she's not actually being put in a position to where she can learn and grow. He is pacifying her, and there's no way for her to improve from that. And I do feel like with Huda, it kind of shocks me that she doesn't recognize when people are pacifying her. Like, you don't see the life drained from this man's face. like you seen how he was when he first got with you, and apparently you notice something's wrong with him, but you tell yourself, oh, he's tired because of the babies. You don't think something is going on.
Yeah.
And the thing is, if he's not going to tell her, what is she supposed to do? Keep digging? Hey.
Yeah, I think with Huda uses her relationships as like a something to show off, as like a show and tell type of thing.
Oh, like, look how great I'm doing.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's not like, even when she's talking here, she wants to basically prove to herself, prove to us who are watching, prove to Olandria and Shelley, the ones who she's talking to, that, hey, this is nothing like the last relationship. Look at us. We communicate. We don't argue. That old Huda that y'all was scared of and things like that don't exist no more with this guy, because look at this, right?
And you see how they responded to her. They were just like,
yeah, and
okay.
And pretty much. But Huda knows, even though it is fair for her to exactly feel what she feels because Chris is not expressing the truth about how he feels, right? I would say Huda is being a little dishonest in this because Huda knows she did not do the work to be different.
Right.
So no one's making Huda say this, by the way. She is volunteering this information that, you know what, we are so good at communication, the same way as she volunteered that she is emotionally mature. Like no one makes her say these things.
But I think what gets me is her like descriptions. I just don't understand how her descriptions make sense to her. She'll say, we don't argue because I'll tell him I have an issue and he says he'll fix it. So that to me tells me that you're not communicating. You're just telling him what to do. Yeah. So maybe in her mind, if I tell you what to do and you say okay, then that's great communication. But that's not real. That's not a two-way street. You know,
it's definitely
and maybe
not.
that's something that, you know, if people can be more honest with her, maybe that's something she can learn.
Yeah, so maybe in that instance. But for that example that you gave, she knows she's being controlling.
Yeah.
So she's being dishonest about how good. That's why she used that example, right? I can tell him what to do, or tell him how I feel, and he just say I'll fix it, right? More than. It's not a collaboration. It's more of a servitude type of relationship. As long as the relationship is serving me, that's why she was nitpicking at, hey, how come you didn't pick up the yoga mats? I told you to pick up the yoga, like I had to tell you to pick up the yoga mats. I put it down. How come you couldn't put it back? Why are you nitpicking me?
Yeah.
Like why do you feel the need to tell me that? That's really the question. It's not why did you tell me? Why do you feel the need to tell me that? When the guys was over there having a fun time, why did you feel the need to tell me you didn't like the color that I picked? Dude, you know what I'm saying? Like, she knows, even though it is fair for her to feel what she feels because Chris is not being honest, but she is being dishonest in her whole approach of like, you know what, we're good because you know what, I'm better. Nah, you're not.
So Chris likes a lot of things about Huda, but she can be combative and defensive.
Ooh.
He knows that he can't be avoidant. He has to speak up and he wants to be heard. So he knows he's going to have to speak his mind. Taylor talks about the feeling Clark gives him. He always wants to be around her and touch her. He's never like that. And he wants to close things off with her. So he recruits the guys to help him do a close off cheer to get Clark to close off with him.
It's funny because I said a couple episodes ago that, hey, I want to see Taylor actually do something without the guys, without some type of assistance with Clark. I don't think we ever going to see it now. You get what I'm saying?
No.
But at the end of the day, I think you had a problem or maybe just a little inkling problem of like, why is he telling the guys instead of telling Clark? I think Taylor, I can't put my finger on what's going on with Taylor, but this feels like this is Taylor's first real relationship. Maybe
that's because I'm like, why are you always like checking in with your bros before like you move forward in your relationship? Like that's how it feels.
It feels like it feels like, you know, when you're young and the teacher calls you up to basically like solve a math problem or something like that, 4 + 4, and you end up writing like 9, but like you're looking at the teacher and you can kind of tell by the teacher's face that I'm just going to switch it to 8. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? That's basically what Taylor's doing.
Yeah.
He's like, he said, you know, I just feel like, you know, I have this feeling with Taylor and like I never felt this before.
Clark.
And, well, oh yeah, with Clark rather. And I never felt this before and I just feel like I'm ready to be closed off. Right?
Exactly.
You're like that's how Taylor, that's his whole aura right there. As if he really don't really know the answer, he's guessing. You know?
Yeah. And I will say this for Chris. I know I literally just sat up here and said that this man needs to be honest and direct.
Yeah.
I want to give space for people who are different than me.
What do you mean by that?
I mean that I think that sometimes some people have a hard time being direct.
Okay.
He said that he knows that he can't be avoidant. So it's like he's recognizing what he's doing and his next move is going to be an effort to not be how he's been being. So I just want to say, like, for people who struggle with being avoidant and not approaching things head on, it's good that he recognized this and he's going to make that shift.
Okay. I mean, look, that's fair, right? I just think that for the type of guy that he, quote unquote, showed himself to be, when given the opportunity, I recoil looking at another grown man, right, not speak his mind when asked directly.
Don't get me wrong, it was very frustrating for me as well.
It's just something like, because
I'm like, why are we lying?
I understand, it
feels like a lie to me.
I understand if you don't want to be the type to where you don't want to initiate the conversation. That's one thing, right? But when given the opportunity to have the layup, to have the conversation, and you still choose not to, I kind of recoil at that, looking from a guy perspective, looking at another guy, you know?
So the girls are playing ping pong with Huda commentating. The guys return acting like they're all hurt.
Yeah.
Pepe tells the story of how Ace was dunking and elbowing everybody on the court.
Wow.
And the ladies are saying that they miss their guys. Nick ends up turning to Olandria and asks if she missed him. And she says, yeah, I said I did.
What's your thoughts on that? Because I ain't here to say that.
It was editing, y'all.
Okay.
I don't know. She could have said it or she couldn't have, but I just want to see Olandria let her walls down a little bit. I want to see her be the lover, soft girl. And I get it if she's not quite there yet with Nick. I mean, I've been shipping their relationship from the beginning. Yep. So I'm just like, we should be further than this. We've been here for this long and I've seen it. But the thing is she hasn't been in it that long. So I can recognize that. But I want to see her express a little bit more towards Nick. You know
what, like this? What y'all Nick?
Sorry,
go ahead.
And then and another thing is, there have been conversations to where like Shelley and Huda have asked, like, "Are you attracted to him? Are you attracted to him?" I think that comes from one of two things. I think one, it's hard to tell where Olandria stands, and number two, I think that she hasn't said it. And because you're not saying it, we don't really know if you are, and it makes me wonder: does Nick know? And is this why he's having to ask, like, did you miss me? Do you like me? Can I visit you in Alabama? I'm like, I just want her to give a little more. Just break the walls down just a little bit.
This is a message to my wife, Blair.
Yes.
And to the Nicolandrians that are holding Olandria at gunpoint. You get what I'm saying? You can't make her like Nick the same way as y'all try to make her like Jalen. You get what
But she's saying she likes him, but she's not showing it.
Because maybe she don't like him.
Oh,
like,
okay.
I mean, like, I don't know how to tell you. You know what I mean? Like Nick can be attractive, but that doesn't mean that like my attraction gotta be to him. I think Olandria is basically just trying to will herself for y'all.
Okay.
For the hive, she's trying to, but you can't fake attraction. You can't fake something that wasn't there for 3 weeks or 4 weeks of a whole season, and now you basically telling her, or rather Blair's telling her, get there in 5 days or less. Like, you can't.
We got some money to win. Come on now.
No, it's not about money. It's about love.
Exactly, and love.
You know what I'm saying? So I think for her, I think it's more than being a slow burner. Here's the thing about it. That's why some people got offended because they don't understand what I meant by this. I said Olandria is rather a scammer or she's stupid, right? No way was the option ever stupid. I was trying to get y'all to see she's a scammer, right? Mm-hmm. But the whole reason why I say that is, hey, if Olandria is telling the truth, if everything that Olandria said throughout this whole episode, throughout this whole season is true, how do you expect her to go from liking Taylor literally for 5 weeks of this show and then all of a sudden switch into Nick if she's not a scammer? Like it's not gonna die, even though she knows that he said Clark at least 3 times. You get what I'm saying? I choose Clark, I choose Clark, I choose Clark. If Olandra's been true, and I don't think you ever called her a liar on this show, Blair. No. If everything that she say is true, of course she's going to be a little, slow-footed when it comes to liking Nick because she's trying to get over Taylor. Mm-hmm. Me, personally, I'm like, there's no way you like Taylor. Mm-hmm. There's no way. To me, I'd rather think of you as a scammer. Mm-hmm. You get what I'm saying? Because I cannot believe that someone that I look at Olandria, I think very highly of, cannot see all the red flags in Taylor and just bypass it. You know what I mean?
And Taylor and Nick.
And Taylor.
And Taylor. Yeah. And bypass. Oh, gotcha. Yeah. Okay. So it's nighttime and Taylor does a cheers and the boys break out into their cheer for to ask Clark to be closed off. She says yes. And then all the boys lift Taylor up and carry him away from the girl he just closed off with.
Because he knows what 4 + 4 is. Okay. He got it right,
And of course Taylor hugs Ace and does, their thing. I don't know. Maybe I'm too old, y'all. It's just very childish, and it's just kind of icky to me. It's just like everything involves the boys a little bit too much. A little bit too much to me. But if they're happy, whatever, have fun on your way home or whatever.
Taylor is their Make-A-Wish kid. You get what I'm saying? He went pee in the potty. You know what I mean? So we get to celebrate that he get to do something or did something. He came up with it a little bit on his own. He came up with the idea. He did the toast. He was a man tonight. You get what I'm saying? And we celebrate. I'll say this though. I'm gonna be honest because I've been hard on Taylor. During that speech, I did feel a little something.
Oh, nice.
Not like tears or anything, but I did felt like, dang, this feels very, for one, awkward that Olandria is front and center. She had to watch this. Yes. You get what I'm saying? And I'm like, oh, he can express. He's not a mute. Mm-hmm. He can express how he feels. He can plan stuff. He can think of someone highly and things of that nature. I didn't think it was in you. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So it did make me feel some type of way like, wow, you kind of did just like have your experience for you and then think of nobody else. Nobody making you do that, but I will say you can't make me not think of you any less or more rather if you basically sabotage someone else's experience by not being honest, by omitting information or just flat out lying. Mm-hmm. So I did feel some type of way in that instance, but at the same time I did feel like, oh, I think he really liked this girl. Mm-hmm. But my fear is I don't think Clark really likes him. I don't think I honestly don't think so.
So we get to Huda and Chris, and he's asking her, so you know what you did when I was trying to ask you for a kiss? Mm-hmm. She's like, yeah, I looked around because she's not ready to kiss in front of people. Mm-hmm. And he says, but you want to do stuff in the bedroom. And Huda tells him, but it's PDA. Like, even they don't do that. What's with the compare? I really don't like the comparison stuff. Who cares? Who cares what other people are doing?
I told you that last episode.
Yeah. Chris says that if I don't feel comfortable if you don't feel comfortable giving me a peck in front of people, and then she keeps interrupting him, and he's trying to say that it confuses him, like we're still in the bedroom with other people when we're being intimate. She apologizes. She says she's a touchy physical person and she's been through a lot since she's been here, and she's trying to move slower and in a different way. But Chris doesn't get, why are we having sex if we can't kiss out in the open? She just says okay and walks away, and she tells us in the confessional that she's trying not to do the same thing she did in her last couple with Chris. Now she thinks it's just not right. Like she's wondering if she's effing up the situation. So Brian goes to check on him, and Chris is saying he can't do this. Every time he explains himself, he gets cut off. He's trying to get where Huda's coming from, but they're not seeing eye to eye, and he doesn't think they'll ever get there.
And Jeremiah is looking at this, probably smiling, drinking a pina colada wherever he is. What is your thoughts on like this whole scene?
One, I was happy that he approached her with the conversation.
Yeah.
And this kind of gave me more understanding why maybe some guys don't want to approach certain conversations.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to let me talk anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think that was definitely a huge part of why he probably just didn't want to get into it with her. And I think that Huda could stand to mature a bit. She talks about she's like the most mature person, but she likes stomping off every single time a guy wants to be honest with her.
Yeah.
And I think that Chris's concerns and questions and trying to understand where she stands is fair. And I get that she was explaining the whole PDA thing, but to me, it didn't make sense. It's as though you're moving out of concern or insecurity about the other people in the villa.
Yeah.
And I think we do get there to where she's basically like, you know, they had a lot of judgment about Jeremiah, and I kind of want to keep this like between me and you and stuff like that. But it's as though you're performing your relationship and trying to make it seem a certain type of way versus flowing in the natural moments that you guys have. So,
I want my diatribe to be a conversation with you, Blair, because I'm gonna workshop this in front of you, right?
Okay.
So two people can be wrong at the same time, right? Chris got some points, Huda got some points, but they both wrong. So let me start with Chris, right? Yesterday in last night's episode, how we even got to the whole she didn't kiss me part was weird to me, right? Remember, Huda was asking him, they was having a discussion, and Huda was like, hey, if there's anything I do that affects your mood, anything that I do that you don't like, you get what I'm saying? And what was his response, Blair? He said, give me a kiss. That's a weird response, right? And then you're using your weird response for her to give you an even weirder response of not kissing you, or rather looking around, basically making sure nobody sees, right? So that was the first strike, Chris, of basically Huda asked you a direct question, right? To where, guess what? I think I got to give credit to Huda in this, in last night's episode. I think when Huda asked that question, the chances of her being defensive then was way less than her being defensive now, because she kind of feels something now.
I think that's fair.
Compared to yesterday. So you had an opportunity to actually speak your piece, but instead you was worried about, can I get a kiss, right? I don't know that was your passive aggressive way of saying, hey, you haven't kissed me today. I don't know. Don't be passive aggressive. It never works, right? And now I kind of feel some type of way about Huda, because now when he basically starts to tell her, hey, this is what happened, she knows what she did, right? And the reasons of why she's doing it makes no sense. This is where I go back to Chris, to where it's like, oh, you can have sex with me, but you don't want to kiss me? Like, that's kind of weird, right? And her whole logic in her head literally makes no sense, right? Because she's like, well, it's dark. And he's like, well, we still in the room with people. Like somebody's literally next to us on both sides. And she's trying to justify it by basically, I'm trying to move differently in this relationship than I did in the last relationship. She's not only comparing herself to other people in the villa, she's comparing herself to herself.
Yeah.
Which makes no sense. I want to make something clear, right? When America voted to break y'all up as a couple, y'all could have stayed together as a couple.
If y'all really liked each other like
that.
y'all
really liked each other like that. We broke up Jalen and Olandria. And guess who was still a couple, but not really a couple? Olandria and Taylor. You get what I'm saying? So that's why I'm like, the fact that you're trying to use like, oh, I'm trying to move differently. okay, if y'all really liked each other and if y'all was really honest with each other, talk about Jeremiah and Huda, when America broke y'all up, you could have just easily said, hey, I'm true with you, you true with me. Okay, we may gotta be with other people right now, but my interest is still with you. They didn't even get to that step one, you know? But now for her to kind of use the excuse that I'm trying to move differently, what I picked up from this, she don't like him like that. Like it's just that simple. Now the roles is reversed. I'm used to women basically saying, hey, how come you don't really show me out like during the daytime? And now like you only want to come by when it's night, when it's like, you know, when it's time for bed. And now he's like, how come you don't kiss me in public? It's like the roles reversed in a way. And I think, Chris, you need to read the signs and say like she don't really like you like that. I think with Jeremiah, she had no problem showing PDA. She had no problem showing him off because she knew that, hey, he was probably the best looking guy in the villa and things of that nature. And you know what she said? She said, hey, I like a pretty man. I like a man that I can show off. I think it's something about Chris that she's just like, you know what? The sex, that was for me. But like public display of affection, like something that I have to be in servitude for you. Oh no, I don't like you like that, you know? And I think Chris is starting to feel the effects of being with like, you know, a baddie in the sense of, hey, you're in this relationship, Chris, to serve. To basically serve whatever Huda wishes are. No, you're not going to get your issue off. Every time you try to talk, guess what? I'm going to cut you off because guess what? I'm not really in this relationship for you. I'm the prize and things like that. So that's why she's over here giving us these fake confessionals talking about, am I effing it up? No, she's basically like, he's effing it up because how come like he have a problem with like basically I'm giving him sex. Why does he want to kiss? And I'm just like, I think both of y'all just need to break up. You know, it is what it is. He's already fatigued and you're not even out the villa yet. You know what I mean?
So Chris tells Amaya what happened with Huda to try to gain some perspective because he doesn't really know if he's tripping or not. And Amaya tells him he has every right to express how he feels. And she thinks that Huda is just emotional and she just needs to take some time to calm down.
Yeah.
Olandria and Nick talk, and Olandria is happy for Taylor, but she did think that they probably would have issues on the outside because he's in vet school and they're in and they would be in a long distance relationship. But everything worked out how it was supposed to.
Nick asked a question. He basically said, I'm paraphrasing, when did you think of this? Did this just become an epiphany? He always was going to be in vet school. It always was going to be long distance. But yet, it didn't take until he basically humiliate you for you to basically like not like him anymore. That's the thing that Olandria just confuses me. Olandria speaks of so much certainty that I'm like, for someone that speaks with so much certainty and so much clarity, like when did you get this clarity? Was it always there or did it just come literally by like a pigeon right now? Because I'm like, if that was the case, Olandria, you should have detached and started to explore for yourself and basically do Love Island for you.
And that's why I say it was comfort. It was a guy she was comfortable with, and that was all she was thinking about.
Yeah.
So we move on to Amaya's conversation with Huda, and she explained Chris's point of view, and he's wondering if she's embarrassed to kiss him in public, and Huda just wants to kiss privately. Everyone shared their opinions on her relationship with Jeremiah, and she feels like it's just her business and Chris's business what they do. Amaya says that he doesn't have bad intentions. He was just trying to express himself, and Huda feels like she's letting him down, and that's why she's emotional.
I don't believe that. I don't believe that. She don't like any accountability. It has nothing to do with I feel some type of way in the sense of I feel like I'm letting him down, and because I'm a people person, it hurts me when I hurt people's feelings. I never got that feeling from Huda, right? Huda don't like being caught on the carpet because she knows it makes no sense for her to be having sex with a guy and things like that, especially the second guy that she's been with on the show, and yet she don't want to show no PDA, but yet she want to do it privately because she's comparing the new Huda to the old Huda. Like, it makes no sense. Like, it's a show that's on TV.
I'm thinking maybe she doesn't think that people knew that they slept together.
That's a good point.
I think that, you know, usually we see when the couples like share like, oh, we've progressed further in our relationship.
Yeah.
And Chris was really the only one talking about it. So I think that Huda was really kind of trying to keep all parts of their relationship under wraps. But she didn't know that he had already been talking about it.
Matter of fact,
and because she figured people didn't know that they slept together, like maybe we shouldn't be kissing in front of them either. So
that's a good point because now when I think about it, the roles, I don't know what happened with Chris, but it seemed like the roles reversed very quickly with Chris and Huda, and I mean it from a guy perspective. Usually it's the girl that go and say, "Hey girl, I slept with him." You get what I'm saying? All excited. But Chris over there, he was the one that let the cat out the bag with his boy Brian, because he was a little bit more excited than I think Huda was. And now he's the one talking about, how come you don't want to show me off in front of, like, how come you don't want to show me off in front of your friends? Like, you get what I'm saying? I'm like, Chris, come on now. You 6'8", man. Like, have some coof about yourself. Have, I think he made, to me, I think both of them are playing the game. A lot of people believe that, hey, maybe he see Huda as a free meal ticket, because I'm telling y'all, even if we like it or not, this is not going to be the last time we see Huda on our TV screens. You get what I'm saying? And maybe he feels like, hey, you know what? I'm about to stop playing basketball. Huda, even though we may not win the money, me and you could be together and we could work something out. But it really sucks to see Chris acting this way. You get what I'm saying? Moping around, shoulder slumping, things of that nature.
Yeah, but I do feel like Chris does have a right to feel how he is, because she is not being like clear. You know, in her actions and what she's saying. So I'm glad that he approached her with it. Honestly, y'all gonna be mad at me. I think he should have started yelling.
Dude, you think so? Yelling what per se?
Just, so he could like say like, "Hey, I'm trying to talk." Sorry if I scared y'all.
You didn't scare nobody. Okay. Trust me, you didn't scare nobody.
He's trying to be like, I'm trying to finish my sentence. I'm trying, you know what I'm saying? Like, don't cuss her out or nothing like that, but just, put the bass in your voice. But, like, I'm trying to tell you something.
But you realize that whenever it was time to base up, since we gonna go down this toxic road, listen. Whenever there's a time to be toxic, boy, I love it. Listen here, right?
Just get serious in your
voice.
Be stern. Be stern with
because
her.
People want to act like, you know what? People want to act like they watch YouTube and they're like, oh, no, I don't like toxic stuff. We all like toxic stuff, right? Let's go back to last episode, right? He tried to base up when he told her to shut up.
And then he had to apologize.
And then who really stood up over him when she was on the top and said, don't ever tell me to shut up.
Yeah.
What? Don't ever tell me to shut up. Okay. Sorry. So like he don't have no legs to stand on the base on Huda, because number one, Huda's wearing the pants. Number two, you cannot base up and trying to express yourself, because when given the opportunity to express yourself, when you was asked directly, you chose not to. Yeah. You chose to cower, and now you want to choose to actually puff up your chest. Now it's not believable. You get what I'm saying? So
I would have liked to see it, because I don't like when people talk over people. No, but I think that's disrespectful.
It is very disrespectful. But Chris has shown himself to be the type of person that I can talk over, because at the end of the day, when I ask you what's wrong with you, you say, "Give me a kiss."
Yeah, that's true.
Speak your mind, sir.
Or, he doesn't have to base up. He could just walk away from the conversation. That's another option.
That's even weaker than me.
Okay.
Sorry.
So they get a text, time to gather around the fire pit.
Yeah.
And the couple with the fewest votes will be dumped from the island tonight. So our safe islanders are Ace and Shelley, Amaya and Brian, Iris and Pepe, Huda and Chris, Nick and Olandria, of course.
Okay.
And dumped are Clark and Taylor.
I'm mad that you said of course, as if they wasn't the last two couples, like Nick and Olandria. And
well, it wasn't in order. They was trying to make us nervous. I wasn't nervous because I know y'all voted. I fell asleep. I'm sorry.
Okay.
But I know y'all voted. I wasn't nervous.
Man, if Nick and Olandria went home tonight, I would have been laughing so hard, because I'm like, that would have been grand opening, grand closing for real. But this is grand closing, the real grand closing for Taylor and Clark. You close your relationship, and now we about to close your time on the island and things of that nature. You feel like America made the right choice?
Absolutely.
I don't.
Yeah.
Not even close. Hey, guess what? Pepe.
So who should have left? Oh, Iris and Pepe.
Yes.
I did think that they were going to leave at first. But I'm okay with Clark and Taylor leaving. I mean, I do think that they did have a genuine relationship, but I just wasn't interested. I'm sorry.
Yeah. And now we're getting rid of the main cast. You get what I'm saying? Now, there better not be no bombshell.
We got to get to the finals.
And now, you saw Ace crying. You saw the guys basically crying, and, they sitting down talking about their brothers and things like that. Nick is going to block both of y'all when he get back to Jacksonville or wherever he's from. So, I don't really feel bad for it. And truth be told, this is now the test that I'm looking at Clark. I can't wait for the Clark interviews. I want to see if Clark and Taylor are still together, because Clark, I'm sorry, sister, I just didn't believe you.
I am totally disconnected from whatever they're doing after this. Not interested. So the Rowdy Rough Boys, they have their final talk, and they are still going to be brothers and best friends after all of this.
You not gonna look into no Clark podcast or nothing like that?
I'm
Taylor.
straight. I'm straight.
Wow. Anything else you want to add to this episode, Blair?
That's all I got.
We need you to subscribe, like, share, comment, all the above. We see y'all Thursday.
Bye.
Bye.